Imagine a king who did everything in his power to destroy God's people. This king was Balak, the Moabite ruler who sought to harm the people of Israel. He is known in biblical history for having hired Balaam to curse the Israelites. Balak lived during the period when Israel was journeying through the Sinai Peninsula after leaving Egypt on their way to the Promised Land. In this video, we will learn the true story of Balak in the Bible and understand what happened to this king who desired to destroy God's people. The children of Israel had left Egypt and were advancing towards Canaan. Witnessing Israel's conquests along their way, Balak became frightened. The Hebrew people had just conquered the kingdoms of Sihon and Og, the Amorites. These victories were, in fact, very significant in that historical context and remained in the people's memory for many generations. Fearing the Israelite advance, King Balak, son of Zippor, sought out a pagan prophet from Pethor on the Euphrates, named Balaam. According to the biblical text, Balaam had a certain reputation as a seer, and his words were considered valuable. The Bible even says that Balak believed that whoever Balaam blessed would be blessed, and whoever he cursed would be cursed. It is important to note that this was the perception of a pagan king concerning an obscure prophet. This means that King Balak's concept of Balaam might not have been accurate, as the subsequent biblical story reveals the corrupt nature of Balaam. So Balak made an alliance with the Midianites to resist the Israelites and sent messengers to recruit Balaam. At that moment, the Israelites were positioned north of Moab and had a large army. Because of Balak's proposal, Balaam consulted the Lord and heard that he should not curse the people of Israel. Because of this, the prophet Balaam initially refused the invitation, but Balak persisted and improved his offer. Subsequently, the Lord authorized Balaam to go with Balak's men, but he was only to speak what God commanded him. Despite the Lord's orders, Balaam proved to be a corrupt prophet and set out to meet Balak with wicked motivations. It was on this occasion that God allowed his donkey to speak. When the prophet Balaam arrived at Balak, the Moabite king took him to curse Israel. They made 3 attempts to curse the Israelites, and in all of them, King Balak was forced to hear the Lord's blessing upon his people. This episode left Balak extremely angry, and when he realized that he would not achieve his goals with Balaam, Balak returned to Moab. However, although Balak could not complete his plan to bring a curse upon Israel with Balaam, he managed to harm the Israelite people. This is because after the episode involving the prophet Balaam, the Bible says that the Israelites began to commit adultery with Moabite women. The Moabites and Midianites, instigated by Balaam, sought to corrupt the people of Israel through idolatry and immorality. Unable to prevail against the Israelites through direct confrontation, they attempted to neutralize them by introducing a mixture that distanced them from their covenant with God. The New Testament makes it clear that Balak was also involved in this corruption of Israel. After all, he was the Moabite king. That is why Balak is remembered in the book of Revelation as someone who followed Balaam's teaching and placed stumbling blocks before the children of Israel, causing them to engage in idolatry and prostitution. Therefore, Balak serves as a figure of anyone who tries to rise against God's people by employing false teachings to lead them into sin. In this sense, unfortunately, we can see that there are many people like Balak today. That is, people who do everything they can to oppose God and His people. If you enjoyed learning about King Balak in the Bible, subscribe to our channel and comment if you have ever met someone with the same behavior as Balak, trying to curse and harm God's people.